Hello lads, let me welcome you today to some great news. I'm a huge fan of co-op titles and being able to play with the community, as much as I do my own lads. Having that boys' night and playing some good co-op titles is always a blast. There's laughs, there's good times and good fun. As such, I like looking for co-op PvE titles to play and make new friends in. Thanks to my Discord community, where there's a link down in the description, I was turned on to the Forever Winter, which is coming to EA this month on the 24th. Does this mean that no Space Marine 2 coverage will happen? Absolutely carking not. We of course will be covering and playing that game near religiously, but I'm looking to bring you more. The Forever Winter is a co-op PvE single-player looter-shooter extraction shooter with some nice hardcore mechanics, a dystopian society where the battlefield is ever-changing thanks to the systems developed and utilized by Fundog Studios. It will throw enemies who have their own goals and agendas at you as they work together and engage in full-scale battles with each other, around you, and through you. This game will require wits, stealth, and skill. All these things you can and will need to learn and develop to make every engagement turn in your favor. Choose how you play, loot the dead, stay out of the way of warring factions, else you might find your life cut short. After all, you are just a scav. A mosquito who can be tolerated to a point. You are on no one's side but your own. Your life and the life of your squad is all you should and will need to care about. Today, the devs released a 20-ish minute Q&A, and I'll give it a summary. Link to watch the whole Q&A is down below. Question 1. How hardcore can we expect this game to be? They stated that this game is designed to be very hardcore and should not be a game to be played like a traditional shooter. Doing so will endanger your life, your ability to complete your objectives, give away your position, and more. But they do acknowledge that the Rambo power fantasy is fun, but not a core tenet of the Forever Winter experience. They are working on changes to the experience that will be prototyped for later and may or may not be put into play, as this game is about survival. They do take time during their development to look at more user-friendly editions of traditional games and ask why is this here in their game, and ensuring that they are adhering to their vision and the experience that they are looking to build. This is a fan-freaking-tastic thing to say. Know your audience and know your game. As long as you want to play the game you're creating, others will too. Question 2. How will the water be handled in this release? Here, they received a lot of feedback to this system and offered a quick explanation to the purpose of it and the changes moving forward and why it exists. Your hub world is called the innards, and water is what draws vendors and keeps your innards alive and thriving. Through this system, they are looking to create a sort of pressure cooker, one that doesn't ask you to log in every day and should be played at your leisure, but a system that does bring stakes to your gameplay and your experience while playing this game. They have made it crystal clear on understanding what is happening and why it's happening, and making sure that suffering a water death does not lock you out of play, but does cause setbacks on materials. XP will not be lost and your character will not be lost either upon water death, but should it occur, you will keep more of your credits than in the beta. This does end up leading the conversation into how a self-published title allows for a lot more experimentation and new ideas that you wouldn't normally be allowed to put into a game due to publishers wanting safer, more recognizable tropes inside of games. This is going to allow for an entirely unique experience that, while can be polarizing, is a very cool idea. Now, for me, it sounds more exciting than the standard experience we've come to expect from our looter-shooter survival games, but it does sound extremely interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing it in play in early access. I was not part of the beta on this one. I just found out about this. That being said, they do admit that they will be fine-tuning this system so it doesn't feel like a waste of your time, or that you shouldn't even pick up the title because you can't keep up, which is a great philosophy of game design and should be the standard philosophy of all games. They do also say that in their closed beta, players were hitting the 30-day water cap in a single day of play, and that they will expand that and fine-tune it as they go. I do enjoy enjoy this system idea, and as I said before, I can't wait to get my hands on it and see how it does change the flow of gameplay in the way that I particularly might play this game, in the way that others may as well. Lastly, because the game can be played both in single player and co-op, if you did suffer a water death, you now have more credits at your disposal than in beta when you die. You can go into a friend's game and pay their vendors to help yourself get back up and running, allowing the community to come to better in a much better way and help each other. This will save to your stash and allow you to get back into the grind. Question 3. What is the compatibility between solo players and group players when they want to play together? This was partially answered at the end of the last question, but with more clarification, whoever is hosting the game is whoever's innards you will be in. You're a tauntaun for the rest of the squad. Enjoy that image. So, if you, the host, has the proverbial Shangri-La of unlocks for your innards and everything is there, raring and ready to go, your mates can buy from you. However, you still have your own stash, inventory, and your faction rating. So even if your friends are allies with one, but they hate you, they will still hate you regardless of whose innards you're in. So you can't cheat the system that way. So the vendors in this aspect may not sell you everything regardless of the host having them fully unlocked. Adding that regardless of how many times a player prestiges, they will not gate anything or lock anything because the game is meant to be played cooperatively. So if your friends have higher tier equipment upgraded and ready for you to purchase within their vendors, you too can purchase it. It's the beauty about a co-op game. Does have me interested to see what kind of nerfs may come down the line, but this is a very nice feature for them to throw in. Will the game offer Linux support? They are running with Windows executable, but on Steam Deck it can be run with experimental protons, but it isn't supported out of the box on Linux. So keep that in mind. The Steam Deck's powerful, it's not that powerful. It most definitely won't be the best choice for this game. Question 5, how did you use the beta to better the game in order to get into early access? Pouring through the Discord and writing down a bunch of comments, both from what others had been saying and the bug report channels, as well as doing a survey that received a high engagement metric. This broke down into 4 categories: AI and artificial intelligence, meta and lore, playing, navigation, and water. Then breaking it into further specific concerns and player needs. Navigation was an easy fix, they said, with mantle fixing as some things were a little bit funky. A conflict of ability system, where going into ADS, then getting hit, and the system would think you were still in ADS and now you're going slower than you're supposed to. Creatively, they've done a lot of AI work and improvements that they are still working on and improving. This is something they do admit. They don't know if they will ever be done with its improvements, as these can always be made better. But highlighting one of the biggest complaints, and not remembering who the writer of this comment was, saying that if I'm popping a shot off at 10 million miles away and some soldier who happens to be getting their face chewed off by cyborgs decides you're a more important target. And this is something that they are fixing, making their awareness and state of awareness more clear and deciding on where that should live. Also admitting that they've been very active on the forums during the beta and asking players who had experienced the bugs and the issues what is going on, and then looking at it themselves and editing it live. How good is that, my lads? Getting a right proper group of devs together to actually work on their game while the beta's live and raring and ready to go. I like that. Question 6. Is there an expected duration for the EA timeline for when new content will drop, or is it all up in the air? Short answer, yes and no. Using the primary jumping off points in the video they released the other day, link in the description down below, which is the early access, this video showed off maps they are including, and in terms of pushing mechanics, they still fully admit that the skill trees are very much a work in progress, and there are other systems in progress that are still trying to be pushed out as far as they can so that characters can do a lot of the really cool shit that they really want them to do. There is no window, and maps are being used as a kind of major update with whatever they can, and will also be working to factor in all the feedback that they are provided with. If major issues occur, they will be spending their time on the major issues to try and get it knocked out, so we as players can have, as they said, quote, as stable as a flying take can be gaming experience. Maps will be used as the bar for introducing new content, and I cannot tell you how exciting that is. Question 7. Will there be any anti-cheat in the game? Well, There is some baseline anti-cheat, but they can say they will not be installing any aggressive anti-cheats that require access to your root so it can spy on your hardware and operating system. I freaking love that. There's no crazy anti-cheat. That can't get any better. You know they have to have some, but like, it's not a versus game. And I like that. They're not throwing anything stupid in our way. Well done, lads. Question 8. How do characters differ from each other, be it playstyle, personality, or weapons? They are working with amazing voice actors from anime and film backgrounds, allowing for a lot of amazing characters and flair being added to the game. Responding to stimuli in a match as you're playing, making it very clear to know which end of the spectrum that these characters are on in terms of personality, belief structure, whether they're feeling nervous, confident, or even a straight-up psychopath. Showing a sign that they are super happy with the personality and work that has been done with the audio and the voice acting, which is fan-freaking-tastic news. I do love a good voice-acted experience, and when you've got good people behind it, it just keeps getting better and better, my boys. The work being done to the skill trees for players to truly utilize the unique skills is very much a work in progress, as they've said before. What early access will have is a distinction with carry capacity, weapon use, rig use, speed, silhouette, and health, and these will, of course, continue to be expanded upon. They even commented that the current skill progression is not milquetoast, and they have a lot of opportunity that they want to keep exploring and provide unique behaviors as they continue to develop their game. I love that, and knowing that they are going to keep working on it over and over and over again, they're clearly not pushing back against players who want to have these cool, unique skills. They've mentioned several times about Gunhead. I don't know about Gunhead. I'll have to do a deeper dive into Gunhead, but everything is looking great. They're very honest, they're very upfront. Question 9. Will the game be released on console? Only Game Boy Advanced. Which is a great joke. I like that. Even I chuckled. This is something that is still an open conversation, and should the PC launch be successful, they would love to get it on console. The most honest answer on that front, they are currently working on EOS installation that would allow for cross-play opportunities, and they would love, as I said, to bring it to console, and I think that's a great plan for the future. Get it PC, get it stable on PC, and then expand out to console gaming. I would love to play with X-Bros and PS5 dudes, come in and play with us in co-op on that. Question 10, is there going to be an art book for Forever Winter? Yes, is the short answer, and the long answer is they can't wait to have the updates come out on that front, and the art for this game is incredibly unique. It's inspiring. I love it. As someone who has dungeon mastered for a long time and game mastered for a long time for tabletop RPGs, and I love the gritty horror techno apocalypse look that they have going within this game. It's things that I've used in tabletop RPGs before, and it all just brings back those good memories of playing those darker and grittier campaigns that I've done, and seeing how the players interact with that, and knowing that as a player myself of this game, that environment, that atmosphere, everything about that looks so good, and this looks like a game that's meant for me to enjoy, and I'm so glad that my community has introduced me to this. Last question, what is your favorite snack? Trader Joe's sour Swedish fish and a Korean corn snack from the two gentlemen that were a part of this Q&A. So, this team is one that I'm willing to put my money behind. I can definitely tell you that. They're honest, they're open and excited for their own product. I've begun to notice this more and more with a lot from indie devs who want to make the thing that they want to make, and they just ask for your support. And I think as long as the community is there and they are open and honest about what it is that they're developing, I think that they will go far, and I think that they will create one of the most unique gameplay experiences within the last decade, or at least this current decade that we're in. I look forward to this, and if you want to learn more, there is a link to the Steam page down in the description below as well. They are on Discord, which you can also access from the Steam page, and as I said, I'm so looking forward to dropping in with you lads. The Forever Winter is looking to be one of the most promising looter extraction shooters for co-op play and single-player play. As the game continues to update and new things are revealed, I'll keep you posted, and I look forward to seeing you there lads, because I am a sucker for a good PvE co-op game to play with the boys. And so if you want to join the community, there's a Discord down below. Thank you to the patrons who support this channel. There's a link to this Patreon down below as well. Thank you to my channel supporters who support here on YouTube, and thank you to you who supports for free by tickling the algorithm's ivories, by commenting, liking, subscribing, doing all that shit, hitting the bell notification. You know what the deal is. I don't have to repeat it to you. You know what I'm talking about. Well, with that, my lads, my friends, and my fellow community members, I look forward to seeing you in all of these fan-freaking-tastic PvE cooperative games. Of course, I'll be playing PvP in Space Marine too, but that doesn't matter. That's not what this is about. I have to do it. I want all the skins. But this one, Forever Winter, definitely looks carking promising, lads. See you there. Take care of yourselves. Stay healthy. Peace.